Israel and Iran traded airstrikes early Friday in the midst of a war that has sent shockwaves through the global economy and risked drawing Iran's Arab neighbors directly into the conflict. The exchange came as millions of Iranians observed Nowruz, the Persian New Year holiday and tradition dating back millennia. As Israel pounded Tehran with airstrikes, activists reported hearing strikes around the capital, Tehran, and many Iranians stayed indoors, abandoning the usual travel or gatherings this year. In Israel, local media reported blasts across Jerusalem with sirens and booms sounding across the city. The new attacks came a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged to refrain from more strikes on a key Iranian gas field.
Israel acted alone against the Slawiya gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out.
Meanwhile, Iran stepped up its attacks on its Gulf neighbors, with the United Arab Emirates UAE reporting heavy explosions in Dubai early Friday as its air defenses intercepted incoming fire over the city. Authorities in Kuwait reported 2 oil refineries on fire, and Saudi Arabia said its Samref refinery in the Red Sea port city of Yanbu was hit. Iran's attacks, which it calls, quote, retaliatory, came as Muslims observed Eid al-Fitr, the end of the holy Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, and mosques across the Middle East made their first call to prayers.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán raised the prospect of further actions against Ukraine on Friday, a day after he doubled down on his veto against the European Union's €90 billion loan.
Magyarországnak Ukrajna olajblokkádjának letörésére nem csak a 90 milliárdos hitelblokkolás van a kezében. Nekünk vannak más eszközeink is. 40%-a ukrán villamos energiaellátásnak Magyarországon keresztül megy. Ahhoz még hozzá se nyújtunk. Folyamatosan új szankciós csomagokat akarnak bevezetni, az egyhangúságot igényel. Majd nem adjuk meg. Hasonlóképpen a következő 7 éves költségvetésben Ukránnak pénzt akarnak adni. Majd nem hagyjuk jó. Szóval azt akarom mondani, hogy rengeteg kártya van a kezünkben. Szerintem nem érdemes kötözködni Magyarországon.
Tensions between Hungary and Ukraine have escalated in recent weeks into a bitter feud over Hungary's access to Russian oil through the Druzhba pipeline, which was damaged in what Ukraine says was a Russian drone strike. Orbán, however, insists that Ukraine has purposely sabotaged the pipeline to orchestrate an energy crisis ahead of a tight election. EU leaders rebuked what they called unacceptable behavior by Hungary akin to blackmail following an EU summit on Thursday, accusing Orbán of holding up critical aid and undermining EU decision-making in an effort to win an election at home.
The French Navy intercepted and boarded a tanker in the Mediterranean Sea on Friday. President Emmanuel Macron said it is linked to Russia's sanctioned Shadow Fleet, which ships oil in violation of international sanctions over Moscow's war on Ukraine. The tanker Dana is suspected of operating under a false flag designation. The interception took place in the Western Mediterranean and was carried out in cooperation with allies such as the United Kingdom. The tanker was diverted and escorted by the French Navy to an anchorage point for further checks. The case was referred to a prosecutor in the port of Marseille. Two of the world's largest bot networks were shut down in a major international operation. German, US and Canadian cybercrime specialists joined forces to dismantle Aizuru and Kimwolf, suspected of being behind major online attacks. A botnet is a network of computers or connected devices that have been infected with malware and are controlled secretly by an operator who uses them for malicious purposes like attacks or data theft. Aizuru consisted of a network of several million compromised online devices, such as routers and webcams, according to a statement. The Kimwolf botnet involved several million infected devices, primarily Android TV boxes. Two suspected administrators of the networks, who reside in Germany and Canada, have been identified and now face legal consequences. The cyber criminals extorted their victims, who in some cases suffered losses of tens of thousands of dollars.